couple of perspectives from the old DWRG, Doctor Who Ratings Guide, on this serial, The Mind of Evil. Firstly, from Michael Hickerson on the 27th of the 11th, 97, a definitive Pertwee story. For me, the Pertwee years are generally defined by three factors: the presence of units, stories involving the Master, and the recurring theme of humanity's ability to destroy itself due to lack of thinking ahead and our own ignorance. Now, these aren't in every Pertwee story, but are an overwhelming majority of them. Sometimes you may get two of them together, but rarely do you get all three. With the exception of stories like The Mind of Evil, at the beginning of episode 1 you have three seemingly different plot threads that by episode 4 have come together rather seamlessly to provide us with one of the best stories of the Pertwee years. First there is the Keller device and the prison riots at Stanmore Prison. Next there is the peace conferences, and if that weren't enough, Unit is disposing of a weapon of mass destruction at the same time. That's a lot to pull off in just one story, but Don Houghton does it masterfully. It's a shame he's only able to contribute 2 stories of the show, since both of them were excellently done. The Master's second appearance is chilling and wonderful. His presence here is still fresh, and unlike later in the season where I kept going, him again? He works well here. The rest of the cast perform up to the high standards of the first 2 years of the Pertwee era and bring off his story rather well. There are several minor things that make this story shine. One is that the Doctor and Jo are still feeling out their relationship. There is a mutual respect building between them, and the beginnings of the friendship that will be cemented by year's end. There was also a bit of the tension that was present in Terror of the Autons. Also, Unit actually feels like a real paramilitary organisation and does more than serve as a Doctor's comic foils, as they will do later on in such stories as The Time Monster. Finally, there is the sense of time having passed from one story to another. I honestly get the feeling that several months have passed between Autons and this story. Either that or the Master has been setting this up for months and pulled the wool over the Time Lord's eyes, which is an even more intriguing possibility. All in all, though, there is a lot to recommend about this story. If you haven't seen it in years, I recommend powering up the VCR, sitting back, relaxing, and enjoying a classic of the Pertwee era. Now from Ben Jordan, the 11th of the 3rd, 99. With the help of a powerful alien parasite, the Master has set his sights on the takeover of Earth, and in Season 8 that sentence could refer to a good 3 stories. Most of us have probably heard that, like many other seasons, the 7th could have been the last. So let's think like the production team did in 1970. How are we going to keep jazz up Season 8 to keep the viewers from turning over to Star Trek? I know, let's have the same villain for the whole year. Yeah, and why don't we just use the same plot over and over again, but with a different name? Good one, Terry. That'll really keep him guessing. Still, Terror of the Autons, Mind of Evil, and Claws of Axos are entertaining, but watch them all together and more than a tad of deja vu will pervade your mind. No wonder the Doctor seemed a bit cheesed off in this story. Numerous capture-escape sequences would get on your nerves. Continuity is alright. Characters are introduced then disappear for no reason. What happened to Chin Lee? I'd have liked to see more of the Doctor's linguistic expertise as witnessed of the Chinese delegate. For that matter, what about this Third World War and that peace conference? Precious little effort is made to convey the seriousness of the matter. By the second half of the story, it's all but forgotten. What exactly was the Master doing in Switzerland when he was going to put into effect his operation of conquest in England anyway? Buying Toblerones? One matter is cleared up, though. I now know why the Master went through his life so much quicker than our hero. He smoked cigars. Silly sod. As for the Mind of Evil itself, well, it's a worry. Witness the character of Barnum, a violent cliché, you'll never take me alive sort of chap plugged into the Keller machine and reduced to an ineffectual wooden actor with no mind. That thing is scary. Creature that could suck your mind dry of evil thoughts is, however, an interesting concept, and I always enjoy seeing the Doctor and the Master work together since it gives their characters more depth, not just a clearly defined good guy, bad guy routine. The acting is largely quite good, especially from the regulars. Watch out for an early appearance of Michael Sheard as Somers. Did that guy ever have an unbroken hairline? The production values are fine too, and as far as I'm concerned, Doctor Who looks brilliant in good old black and white. Overall, then, Mind of Evil is worth watching, but it's nothing we haven't seen before, and it's just too repetitive.